What is up, guys? It is DMG here, and today we're going to be looking at another squad builder which featured 3 icons, which were 89 base Yashin in goal, 88 Petit, and then 90 Prime Deco. Now, other players in the team did include Bellerin at right back, the Foot Birthday Kolasinac at center back, along with 86 Delit, which I believe was his third inform, Tagliafico inform, Tagliafico at left back, in the midfield was Willian, and then the 93 De Bruyne, and again the 88 Petit, Foot Birthday Balassi at left mid, and then at striker was Gabriel Jesus and that 90 Deco. Now, we did switch formations occasionally. We would either stay with the 4-4-2 and everyone would stay in the same position. We would also go to a 4-1-2-1-2 narrow or to a 4-2-3-1 narrow, depending on what the opposition was doing. Now, this team overall, I'll be honest, just was not that good. I was not a fan of it. It just did not flow together, I thought. And you're going to be looking at the scores of the games. And I mean, I did win a couple pretty easily. I mean, like 5-0, 6-0, something like that. But there was only one game where I actually felt comfortable and confident with the team. Otherwise, it just felt like when I scored goals, it would be lucky, right? It didn't feel like I was just moments away from scoring a goal. It's just, whenever I scored, I would be genuinely surprised, which is not good. And then in the defense, I felt like I was going to give up a goal almost every single time they were on the attack. I just wasn't confident with the team. It didn't flow well, right? So there were multiple reasons for that, I thought. There were some individual players that showed flashes of being good, right? It wasn't that these players were bad or anything like that. I mean, some of them were, but a majority of players showed flashes of actually being good, right? So, I mean, I'll talk about them mainly so that I don't focus on the negatives. So, one player was Foot Birthday Kolasinac. He showed flashes of being good. I mean, if you put him at like left back or right back, he's going to be a lot better because he has 82 pace, which isn't bad. It's usable. But he also has decent enough defending, but 90 plus physical, right? Insane strength, insane aggression, medium high work rates. That's insane for an outside back. And in my opinion, you should really prefer players with like 80, 85 pace and insane physical rather than 90 plus pace and average physical. You want, because then at least, with the outside backs, pace isn't as important. Obviously, you wouldn't want someone with 60 pace, but 80 to 85 pace versus 90 to 95 pace is not that big of a difference. And then if you have an insane physical, that will make a bigger difference because then you can knock Ronaldo, you can icon Ronaldo, you can knock Cristiano Ronaldo, you can knock literally anyone off the ball if they have a really good physical. So Kolasinac, he showed flashes of knocking people off the ball. He was really good at that. But in terms of just defending, 82 defending, that's not that good, right? That's good enough for an outside back, but that's not good enough for a center back. And unfortunately, he did give up a couple goals because of that lack of defending. But again, if you put him at left back or even right back, he's going to be insane for you. A couple other players, Foot Birthday Balassi, I thought was insane. He showed flashes being really, really good. In fact, he was also probably one of the more consistent players. He wasn't really ever bad, but sometimes he was a little underwhelming, but other times he would just show up and just take over the game, score these insane bangers. And I mean, if you look at his stats, he's pretty much like a cheap Ronaldo, right? Insane pace, 4-star weak foot, 5-star skills, great strength as well. All that's missing is shooting. You put a Deadeye on him, he's going to be insane at shooting as well. So, again, he is like a cheap Ronaldo. So that Foot Birthday Balassi, one of the more consistent players, can do these incredible things. Again, 5-star skills, 6'1", great pace, great strength. He's all you need in a winger, in my opinion. Other players that showed just at least consistency or flashes of being good was Willian as well. Just one of the more consistent players. Like, he didn't score a lot of goals or get a lot of assists, but I noticed that if you were to switch him out and put someone else there, you would not be happy with the player you put in. Because Willian does these very small things that you don't really notice until you take him out of the game, until you put someone else in. And then you realize that, Willian was tracking back more than your current player. He was getting forward and getting in a better position more than your current player. So, again, you really have to appreciate those small things about Willian, really, just in order to appreciate him and actually use him properly, because otherwise you're going to be disappointed with pretty much any other player that you use, in my opinion. Now, the last two players I do want to talk about in terms of being good, actually, are in the midfield, the 88 Petit and 93 De Bruyne. Now, the 88 Petit, again, one of the more consistent players. He was very good at defending, high work rate, 6'1", very good at just tackling. That was one of the main things I noticed, was just tackling and getting the ball away from the opposition. I thought he was fantastic at that. He can hit a decent long shot. He can finish decently well. And his strength is also pretty good. Decent enough stamina as well. But, I mean, like, he's 400k. If he was 700, 800, 900k, I don't think I would recommend him. But 400k, that's decent enough. You could probably find someone else that does similar to what he does for cheaper, but I mean, he also links with everyone. So if you have the coins, go for it. In my opinion, I think he would be decent. But in terms of, if you don't want to waste 400k in a 500k team, right? So you want to go someone cheaper, then you might have to do that, because he's not worth it. He doesn't make or break the team by any means. And then the 93 De Bruyne, he was either, I could not decide if he was amazing for me or underwhelming, because he could not do these very simple things. He couldn't find a wide open man 5 yards away. He couldn't make that pass. He couldn't make these simple across the goal passes or simple tap-ins. He couldn't position himself for simple tap-ins. He couldn't do any of these simple things. But when it came to threading 4 defenders for an insane assist, or doing this insane finesse or long shot for a goal, he could do those things easily. So I could not decide if he's insane or just underwhelming, because again, he couldn't do these simple things, but he would do these extraordinary things at the same time. So in my opinion, I don't think I was just using him properly, just because, if he's able to do these insane things, if you can do that consistently, he's going to be the best player in your team. So try him out just because he's able to do these things, and try him out at different positions, at center, attacking mid, out like left or right attacking mid, center mid, left to right center mid, somewhere where he's trying different positions, so then you can properly use him, because otherwise he's just going to be like me, and he's just going to be insane one game and then terrible the next. Now finally, I do want to talk about some of the players that just weren't good. Yashin was okay, just a little underwhelming. There are definitely a lot of goalkeepers better than him. Bellerin, I mentioned before, you want outside backs that have good pace and insane physical. Bellerin is the exact opposite. He has great pace, but his physical is trash. So yeah, he could keep up with players, but he couldn't do anything with it, because his defending's not great, because most outside backs defending isn't great, so he couldn't really make those tackles, and he couldn't outstrength them. So that was unfortunate for Bellerin. De Ligt, probably one of the worst center backs I've used. I just was not impressed with him at all. Again, definitely a lot of center backs I would much rather use besides him. I mean, I don't know why. He just was not good. The only things he did right were things that if he didn't do right, I would quick sell him, right? So, I mean, I don't know what was wrong with him. Just never in the right position, couldn't get tackles, would always pass the wrong player, just was not good. Tagliafico at left back, same thing as Bellerin, good pace, able to keep up with players. He would occasionally make a tackle, but I mean, I would want people to outstrength others, right? I would rather outstrength than try to make a tackle, and he couldn't outstrength people. His strength is okay, but it's not nearly as good as Kolasinac or Kyle Walker or Valencia, right? So in the same vein, Bellerin and Tagliafico, pretty much the same player. I did mention the midfield already. They were all pretty good. Then the attack, Deco, like I used him last year because he was the best passer in the game by a mile. This game, his greatest asset, which was his passing, was probably his worst thing. He would always pass it straight to a defender. So I'm not sure what was going on there. And then Gabriel Jesus, always an insane player, but just the fact that I'm not really talking about him in a good light, right? I'm not putting him in a good light, just shows that this team didn't really work well. It did not flow properly. He just was non-existent. I do not remember him scoring goals, getting assists, or doing literally anything. So he just was not good, unfortunately. Simple as that. Now, would I recommend the team? I would not. I would recommend certain players like, Willian, pretty much the entire midfield. The midfield I would recommend. Kolasinac at left or right back I would recommend. But everyone else, I would not recommend unless you put them in a different team. And even then, the midfield, you have to put them in a different team. You have to put De Bruyne in a different team. You have to put Balassi in a different team, Petit in a different team. You have to put these players in a different team because if you don't, they're not going to work well. Because again, this team overall did not work well. So that's going to be it for this video, guys. Thank you so much for watching. If you want me to rate your squad, just leave them in the comments down below or send them on Twitter. Either way works for me. But like I said, that's going to be it. Thank you guys so much for watching. This has been DMG. Peace.